I'm very tired, so I'm not even going to try to talk my language because I'm too pitiful anyway. I just wanted to give a bit of history because not all of you know what has happened here. Some of you have heard me say this before. But in the spring of '09, Ray Mason, who's the president of Spirit Wind, approached me, and the executive of Spirit Wind is Ray Mason, Gary McLean, and Melvin Swan, and Ruth Roulette from this community is on that board, and there are several others, Charles Harper from up north. You know, this is a group of volunteers that retained my law firm in 2009 to assist them with this class action. The claim was drafted and reviewed in Saugeen with the members out in Saugeen. I was listening to people talk about papers here, and I do have some notes that I want to get to, but I'd rather just talk from my heart. What this is really about is the fact that no law firms would take this case because it's a crappy case, excuse my language, at law. Because in class action lawsuits, if the risk is high that you won't get your money back as a law firm, then people won't do it on contingency. And that's what's going on here. Canada's argument basically is, maybe these people did get beaten for speaking their language, but you know what? They went home at night. And their own parents could have taught them. Why are you blaming us for that? Why do you want us to pay for that? Okay, maybe these people were sexually abused. But how do you know it was happening at school? They went home. Maybe they were sexually abused at home. How do we know? That's what Canada's basic argument is. It's called vicarious liability. You can't connect. It's very difficult to connect the accountability with the effects that you're all living with. So it's a very weak legal case. When Spirit Wind retained me, they said there were law firms in Manitoba that were prepared to do this, but they wanted, the lowest one wanted $80,000 on the table before they even pick up their pen. The biggest one in BC wanted $360,000. A group out there told me from Duncan, from the Cowichan tribe. Big class action firm would take this on, but they're not going to spend their own money to find justice for us. So I did it. I didn't mean to do it. I'm not a class action lawyer. I'm an Aboriginal law lawyer, but the Creator puts us in places and we stand up or we don't stand up. And so I stood up. And I've been to many of your communities. The chief on Pine Creek here was the first one to give me $1,000 2 years ago. In Kamloops in the spring, last spring, there was a national day school conference from the AFN. They didn't invite me. I was up in Atlan, BC, where my husband's people are from. And a day school survivor called me and said, "Did you know there's a conference? And you're not on the agenda?" I said, "No, nobody invited me." I drove there. I drove my vehicle from Atlan, British Columbia to Kamloops. Took me 31 hours. But I made it there. And I spoke for you. Nobody paid me to do that. I've done that repeatedly, not because I'm Mother Teresa, but just because I keep standing up. What has happened is that many of the grassroots people, your band members, your members, have signed up with this class action. You're all invited to my office. 508-283 Portage. Go there. Ask my little staff. They're here. My daughter Ronnie is helping me. Tara's at the back. Ask them to open the drawers. You'll see your own members there. Hundreds of them want justice. So in Kamloops, one of the class action law firms from Toronto, he said to me, John Phillips, I said, "What do you need, John?" He said, "Well, we need about $250,000 to pick up our pen." Maybe $500,000. It's a hard case, Joan. Could we win, John? You know, if you have enough money, you could probably win anything, eh? It depends on how many lawyers you can pay to research. And I started to cry. I said, "I don't know what I'm going to do, John." He said, "Joan, ask them each for $25. You've got thousands now." I said, "Oh, I never thought of that." So your members have been sending in $25 at a time to my firm. And what I've done is continue to keep my head above water because it's a logical thing. Think of it. The more I work on this case, the more I don't have time to earn a living because I'm working on this case. Some people say it hasn't moved forward. I don't agree. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are working on this. Anyways, I'm getting on my soapbox here. It's very, very important that we decide what we're doing. Because legitimately, as a lawyer and as a Anishinaabe, I have an obligation. I can't continue to pretend that I can bring justice to the people who expect me to do so. I've reached the point now where I've borrowed I borrowed another $50,000 last week so that I didn't go under. Because if I go under, which law firm's going to do anything? Who? Where are they? There may be class action lawyers out there, but they're not willing to work for nothing. So I'm keeping it alive, and Sandy Bay Chief, McIver, a few other chiefs have helped me. Many volunteers on the grassroots. There's a lady named Polly Jack in Duncan, BC. She's not right about it. That woman has put in days and days. Ray Mason, Gary, whatever. So we're at a place now in the case where we need to decide. So I sent out a message the other day to the Grand Chief, to others, saying, okay, I'm done. Nobody's stepping up, so I'm going to call Tony Merchant. You know, I sent an email to that man's office on Tuesday. By Thursday, I had a letter. By Friday, I had a phone call. By the next Tuesday, I had another letter with some, what they want to talk. He said, I read the claim. Good work. We need to amend it. Let's go. I want to see your people. But I'd rather work with my own community. And all I'm saying is, we need to figure out what to do. We talk about unity. I said to John Phillips, what should we do, John? He said, oh, Joan, please don't go with merchant law. Please. I said, but I can't keep it. I can't keep it. We have to figure out what to do. The other thing is, it is about the money. Some people say, oh, well, you're going to get rich. Well, I hope so. I hope so. I hope I become a millionaire. Do you know that out of the 80 lawyers at the residential school claims, merchant law got $45 million before the deal was even done? All those 80 law firms, they got millions of dollars, and when people are upset I might get rich. That's not even the issue. We have to decide what we want to do, and I'm asking you guys what to do. If we don't do something, I have to do something. I just have to. And I've been invited to the National Justice Forum by the National Chief. I got a letter now signed. First time. I don't have to crash my way into the door. So I'm on the agenda. You're on the agenda. So I'm just here putting it in front of you, clearly. I can't take this to the motion to certify because I'm not a class action lawyer. Where I do good is at the res. I take this to the people and I explain it to them. I talk to them on the phone. I listen when they cry. My staff answer the phone. That's my part. But I need to find a partner to do the litigation. And I would love it to be you guys. But I'll get this barred pretty soon if I don't do something. The last thing I want to say is when the research we've done at my firm is critical, and that's why this case is now worth some money to law firms, because when I filed it, then Canada called me and said, well, who are we talking about? Besides the liability problem, what schools are you talking about? Which victims are you talking about? I can answer that question now. You know, there are hundreds of schools in the filing drawers at my office and thousands of people's names. I can tell Canada who has been hurt now. So that research part, that's what I've done. And I can't handle it, it's too big now, I can't carry it myself, so I need your help. Leave it.